What's up guys, my name is Liam and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Lamzu Maya X. I've already been very vocal on my channel about my love for the original Maya, so how does a bigger version stack up to the competition, and more importantly, could this be the perfect gaming mouse for you? Let's check it out. Before we get started today, I did want to let you know that this was sent out to me. However, everything you're going to be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. Included inside the box, it did come with a USB-C cable. It also does come with a dongle adapter, but I did not see a 1K receiver actually included with this. There's also a sticker for the bottom of the mouse to prevent any hairs from getting inside. These really good feeling rubberized grips. Manual, this is a velvety carrying case. Extra set of PTFE skates, and this version actually did come included with the 8K receiver. I'm not sure exactly what types of options they're going to have included on their website, whether all of them will come with the 8K dongle or not. The layout on the bottom is similar to the original Maya with the skate design. You got your DPI button right here, your on and off button. They are also using new skates on these brand new Lamzu mice, and they do feel a little bit quicker than the older ones, so I do like these a little bit more. And truly everything about the design and the feeling of this mouse is just as good as it gets for me. They do use the PCB to outline the internals of the shell, so you don't get any type of flexing or anything like that. A completely solid feeling. The coating on here feels fantastic. It feels identical to my Lamzu Fanatic Maya that I just reviewed recently. I did talk about how this coating felt a little bit grippier than my older Maya mice, and exact same feeling on here. So whether you get sweaty hands or not, really a huge fan of this. This is also using the Omron Opticals, some of the lightest clicks out there on the market, and the implementation on this is just fantastic. You get like basically no pre or post travel clicking from the center. Even coming up here at the top, not a whole lot more play. Can make contact with the shell, but I'm not getting any type of side-to-side play, and just no matter where you click on here, it really does feel great. A little bit harder if you do click back here in the rear, but all around still very easy to spam, and it feels solid. The scroll on this also does feel great. They got rid of the squishy plush scroll wheel, so it is a more solid feeling on the rubberized ring there. You do get these lightly defined steps, and the center scroll click is actually a little bit on the lighter end. It's not too light, but really easy to click and spam. And when it comes to the side buttons, arguably probably my favorite, or some of the top side buttons on the market. No matter where you click from, there's just no pre-travel, and these side buttons are very snappy and lightweight. Almost no post travel. You get a solid stop back there, and I get no side-to-side play on both the front and rear side button. So let's go ahead and drop the click sound test. When it comes to the weight and balance, mouse manufacturers have gotten really good with the balance in recent days. Everything about this balance is spot on, and on my scale, 47.6 grams. The Maya X is currently the only mouse that doesn't work with their older standalone software. It is currently only using with their new web-based software. If you have an issue like I did where everything's in Chinese, you can just come up here in this top right-hand corner. This is where it will allow you to change the language over to English. Over on the left-hand side, you have your macro settings. In the middle, down here in the bottom left, you do have your motion sync setting. Over here to the right, you do have this game. It is kind of cut off. Once you do click on the setting, you can see this does increase the power output, so the battery life will not last as long, but it is supposed to overall increase the performance. I'm not sure if this is like a combination of the long distance mode and the peak performance mode or not, but I do always recommend using any setting that is going to increase the performance of the mouse. They have actually made a few different changes, and I do feel like the changes they have made have been for the better. On the side buttons over here for the original Maya, they felt a little bit more bulky and kind of stuck out of the shell a little bit more. And they did kind of make these side buttons feel like they're a little bit more customized to just the overall shape of the mouse. They do feel a little bit more flush, so they're not as bulky with the way that they stick out, and they kind of just feel a little bit smoother with the overall shape of them. So I do like this change over here. And then really one of the only other differences that I did notice up here on the front, the buttons on the original Maya, they feel kind of just like flatter overall, just kind of slope down at an angle. There is a little bit of a groove in there, but I do feel like this one does have a little bit more aggressive of grooves in there. And just to be clear, they don't feel like they're too much. It still gives you overall a flatter feeling, but it just kind of feels more natural with the curvature of the mouse itself. But aside from those two differences, everything else is pretty similar. Obviously, just with the Maya X being larger than the original Maya. All right, next up, I'm comparing it to the Logitech G Pro Superlight 2. Over here on the bottom, the curve profile, both of these are kind of a flatter feeling style of a mouse. The rear does noticeably feel wider than on the Superlight, but in the mid-center grip width right here, they do feel pretty similar to one another. The G Pro might just feel just a hair wider. Over on the top, though, you do have a different feeling. The curve profile down from the top to the sides is feeling narrow on the top of the G Pro Superlight, where you can see it just have a wider feeling at the top of the Maya X over here. So the Maya X kind of has a wider feeling at the top, and then it kind of just curves down a little bit more aggressively, where on the G Pro, you just kind of get a flatter feeling on the side. But like I said, the scale of these are really not that far off from one another. The curve profile does kind of drop off more aggressively over here on the Maya, where you kind of have just a slower taper down to the rear on the G Pro Superlight. And then next up, when it comes to comparing it to the Razer Viper V3 Pro, putting these together in the middle, the grip width between these is not that far apart from one another, and the curve profile down here on the bottom is somewhat of a flatter feeling. But the same thing goes over here at the top. You do get kind of a wider feeling on the Viper V3 Pro compared to the Logitech G Pro Superlight, but I do feel like that this Maya X does have a little bit wider feeling at the top, with the taper from the top middle down to the sides. And then over here on the rear, the way that the Viper V3 Pro falls down here to the rear, it does so more aggressively, and it makes the mid hump feel more aggressive, where you get kind of a smoother feeling transition from the front to the back over here on the Maya X. And then lastly, when comparing it to the WL Mouse Beast X Max, you know, I really feel like that the size of these isn't that far apart from one another. You can see the same thing, they kind of have these flatter sides. When you do put these together, the Beast X Max does feel just a little bit more wide down here on the bottom. And then looking at both of these over here on the rear, you can see that the Beast X kind of does have that wide and flatter feeling, almost curve from the top mid down to the sides. So though these are not really that far apart from one another, I do feel like the scale of these is closer, but it is still pretty noticeable to me when I'm going back and forth and holding both these in the hands that the Beast X Max does feel just a little bit bigger than the Maya X. Alright guys, so that about wraps things up on the Lamzu Maya X. I really am in love with this mouse a lot. I would say that I do still personally prefer the original Maya over it, only simply because I just kind of game a little bit better with smaller mice. Just with my grip style, I feel like I get a little bit more movement in the hands with it being a smaller size. This one still does fit my hands pretty great though, and it does feel really comfortable. And I did compare this to a lot of fantastic gaming mice. My personal preference, I kind of felt like the Razer Viper V3 Pro was the king of the medium to larger style mice. I do prefer this one over it. I feel like the clicks are a little bit lighter. This comes with a little bit better stock skates out of the box. Obviously, it's going to be a little lighter weight, and I do slightly prefer this shape for my grip style, just a little bit more. So I do feel like this is going to be the new king of the mid-style shape mice for my preference. And although there are still other great options out there, I love the Beast X Max. It's just that the feeling of everything about this just feels pretty much near perfect for my preference. So if you guys have any questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know down in the comments below. If you have enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.